AFH, what's going on, man? How are you today? Yeah, I'm feeling better for sure, man. I was dying out there for a little bit. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. How are you doing today? Long time no see. Yeah, man. I was out for I think the entire week almost. I felt terrible on Sunday, so I didn't come back till today. Really? Was today Thursday? Oh my god, I missed the whole week. Got your eyes on anything? I'm looking at the risk level on the NQ here at 940, 950. If it can reclaim that, it's good for it's a good indication that this gap down could be gobbled up. So I'm more or less watching what the NQ is going to do on this gap down. It's only because it's the one that has some core strength internally. So if you look at the chips, they're up 0.42. I think it's like right here somewhere in my head. It has the chip sector's green. I want to see if that is going to result in upside strength, or if it's just a pop to fade. So I'm watching the NQ here at this area. See what it does. I haven't added to my chart as the risk level. If it goes into it, tries to hold it, fails and starts to sell off, then I'll look for a continuation short. Down into the 80s, overnight low, and then go from there. How about you, man? You got anything on your mind? NQ is right at the risk level. A little bit underneath it. I think the gamma level's just printed. Let's refresh them. Oh, they're squeezing. Look at that. Up, down. He had a really nice short yesterday at the high. Nice, man. Near the overnight high, or you see like NQ is, I can't see it right now, so I'm not eager to trade today. Oh, that's great. Is holding that risk level. See what it does here. Something special. Okay. Yeah, overnight. Nice. Very nice. All these terminal windows popping up are annoying me. Okay. Two-sided auction. This doesn't work. Well, I guess the rotational market's what it's calling for on the report. Let's see. Right here at the risk level on NQ, I like this area for a short, for a follow through back to the New York Open. It's for a small trade. It's teetering here at the area. Let's see if it holds or not. It's either going to hold and squeeze or fade out. Let's see NQ here. Some things are going red to green, so that's a good sign. Some of the sectors are going red to green. I'll be right back. All right. Oh wow, NQ fail at the risk level. That's the area I wanted to. Well, it didn't fail quite yet. It's still holding the value area, but it's the area I wanted to short at the 2. I haven't annotated at like the 450s on NQ. We can come back into it. I'm back pretty strong here. Right here on NQ, see if it can keep going. Chips look good. Where's it at? They're not in a good area. This is the problem. See what they do here. I'll try this one smaller. I'll try the NQ small, but I only like it because it's close to the risk level. And the stop loss is relatively close to the invalidation point, right near the VWAP. Given it has the strength, I don't want to be, I can't be long. Well, I would like it long. I just don't know where the invalidation is. It's too far out from what I can see. It's holding the prior day low after it gapped down. So this is trying to go for a full gap closure up into 560s if it fills the gap. If it goes below the PDL at 375, I don't mind adding more on that momentum. But for now, it looks like it's going for the gap fill on NQ to the upside. The reclaim PDL, it's holding, wants to fill the gap probably. I might be on the wrong side of this trade based on that reclaim of the PDL. Yeah, S&P keeps riding those highs. What's the delta look like? Pretty consistent. Going above VWAP here. Interesting. There's a lot of selling pressure on NQ as it pushes highs, but it's not resulting in lower prices. That might squeeze me out because the delta is showing there's a lot of selling here on the NQ in these last few prints, but no reward to the downside yet. See if it's absorption or if it's aggressive absorption at least, and if so, then it should fade. And you can see the S&P here. My goodness. My goodness, no. My chips are giving up some of that gap. And then the two other sectors that I have on there are already red, so if they go green or not. You can see them, they're like right there somewhere around there. There's like a sector by sector. It's not all the chips. It's not all the chips. It's not all the companies within that sector. They're just the highest weighted to each sector. So it's not all of them either. So for chips, it's only 10 chips stocks. It's the highest weighted. And then individually, they're weighted based on their weighting within that as well. And the Mag 7, it's all 7, but they're weighted based on market cap. So the Mag 7, like Tesla's going to be the smallest. That's going to have an impact on the percentage there because it goes by weighting, similar to how the index, how it impacts the index. So the S&P, yes, it has all the Mag 7, but Microsoft is going to move the index more than Tesla will on a percentage basis because of the market cap. And same thing for the value names on the one below that. NQ is definitely showing some momentum to the downside. I just want to see it break the PDL more than anything. That way, the idea that this is going to gap fill the 560s, you know, is invalidated. If it breaks below the PDL, I'll fill right there somewhere near the New York Open on some, and then target the overnight low after that. So this is the risk level, and this risk level that the 450, 460 area, that's from the report, the positioning report. So this level, I got it from here. NQ positioning report. And if you go, you see, where is it? Is it on here? It might not be on this one. Wow, I should fix that. It's on the Discord one. Oh wow, I didn't realize that. So that level I got from this report here. Where did I get it from? Oh, from yesterday's report. I'm sorry. Right here, 550. Oh, I wrote it wrong. 100 points lower. Did I write it wrong? Where did I get that level from? I just wrote it this morning. Ah, here it is. From yesterday's report. It's from yesterday's closing report at 430s. I wrote it a little higher, 440s. It's from here. It's just not going to show because it happened yesterday at the close. Yesterday's closing price action. Which I may need to adjust here. Now that I'm looking at that, I might want to keep that one rolled over. Let's actually do that. Nice project to work on. Yeah, honestly, this is like as I'm like compiling reports together, I'm realizing I have a lot of useful data that I can make very useful reports with. I'm gonna scale some here. I'm gonna tighten this up because I don't want to see it come back. If it stops me on break even, that's fine. I don't really care. I'm not much of a break even trader, but I don't want to stay short for too long if it comes back up, because if they do, and it holds the prior day low, then it's a failed breakdown of the prior day low here. So that means that the continuation for a true gap down movement is reversed if it comes back above again. So if I get stopped out, that's fine, because that means that the price wants to hold the prior day low on the NQ and continue its trajectory into the prior day close to gap fill. I want to see it, ideally, the ideal scenario here is it breaks below the prior day low and continues to flush and test the overnight low, not reverse here. Whatever it does here is fine. Yeah, the projects are pretty nice. As I'm using them, I'm starting to realize like, oh, I need to add this, or I need to adjust that. I need to make sure this is on there. At least things that I use or that are reference that are useful for me, and then I just add them to the report, and then I put it out for free. I'm working on making sure these reports can be emailed out to everyone every morning or whenever they're ran, but I need to figure out the email thing first. That way you don't have to go to the website. They just get emailed to you. I need to figure out what this freaking floating terminal is. It keeps messing up my screen. I'm typing and it comes up and it's really annoying. I need to figure out what terminal that is that keeps popping up. Overnight low. I don't know. I'll see if it's like the either that point of control there, right where we're at, or the overnight low. Those are the two areas that I'm targeting. Somewhere between there. Seven, 1-3. I have a yes for pivots. Okay, it's holding below right now. What's the risk level today? 290. Okay. Okay. I'm adding that to the report. Here's the point of control. See what it does here. I'm gonna trail it pretty tight a little bit. Actually, no, not yet. I'm just gonna scale this, honestly. I don't like being short too much here. I'm just gonna scale it, to be honest. I don't really want to hold the short on NQ. It could be a good reason. It could be a great thing to hold the short, to be honest, but I just don't see enough of a flush hitting these areas yet as we trade into them. Like this, in my mind, the way this should have played out, and I could be wrong, but this should have flushed already on the NQ. It's not. It might take a little longer, and I could be still right, but I would have loved to seen a flush all the way to the overnight low already after breaking below the PDL and that first standard deviation and the current month. Look, there's a cluster of areas here. You got the current month value area low. You got the PDL, the current value area low for the week. So I would have ideally, because of that cluster of levels there, higher time frame and current time frame, should have seen, in my mind, a flush already, breaking back below it. And it can happen. Maybe I'm just not giving it enough time, but I don't want to be short, holding a short too long at a higher time frame value area low either, if I don't have a good cost basis. I personally don't feel comfortable holding a short like that at a higher time frame where my positioning is so tight, my entry is so tight compared to the time frame. So I might get, look, see, it's bouncing here at the same area. I wouldn't mind had I been short from higher up, holding the short, but because I'm pretty tight here and we're at a higher time frame, it's a little hard for me to hold a short because of my cost basis. And I might be right about that. They're coming back into the zone, probing into it, see if it breaks below or not. But they're showing signs of wanting to reclaim that current month value area low on the NQ. Hey, look at that bounce. Bam. Yeah, it's gonna stop me out here on the trail of the trade. That's fine. It's testing that monthly value low from below. Okay, that's a nice rejection. I do like seeing that, but I need to see it flush through to the point of control now. If it does, and I'll hold this a little longer. The momentum looks good here. The way it's flushing now, this is what I would love to have seen initially, that reactional move away from the monthly value low. ES is also looking weak, I agree, yeah. Alright, they're stalling here again. I'm just gonna close this one out. I'm not one to hold shorts for too long. I don't like to. I don't like to. So I call it there on the S&P or the NQ short. It can go way further, but I'm comfortable with what I got here on it. I didn't have high expectations for this trade. It was just a risk level trade based on an area of interest. I don't have a higher time frame view on this. I don't have a pre-planned setup here where I can say, oh, if this happens and this happens, and I can see this happening. I don't have that grand view, so I can't really justify holding it too long. It wasn't a planned trade. If it was a planned trade, I would feel more comfortable holding it and justifying my entry and call it stop loss. So for now, I'll leave it as is, and then I'll just kind of be eyeing the ES for a trade setup now. So I do have plans for the ES for long setups. As we're selling off, as we go into lower prices, I do have long setups on the ES, so I'll be watching those. NQ's reversing that same spot. Let's see. What was that on NQ? It's at 422 minus what? 344. I don't even know where I got filled at. 430. Okay. $350, $340. That was about 90 points. Hey, good morning, Frank. So the short was from 430 to 340. Yeah, 90 points. About 90 point trade on the NQ there. Average. Not bad. Not bad for a little bit of a setup that, not on a whim, but rather an area of interest. Paid pretty well. See, I think that was a good call to cover that short for sure. Gonna end up coming back, I assume. Allow. See that positioning report. Let's see what you got. Still working on it. Good morning, Mr. Frank. How you doing, man? Bad attitude, play until I'm out of moves. Don't want to grow up, smoke, think. And then I grow below the waist, and the poke is just so PGA. Ooh. All right, let's see what we got on this here. Gap down. The main thing for me today, we'll see how that we can resolve as we go into the initial balance. What time is it? We got 30 more minutes. Where we end relative to let me look at this report. Relative to the PDL and the S&P. Because look at the NQ has a long bias structure. This is for the NQ, right? Let's see what the S&P. Gap down. This is not for that. Yeah, this is still for the NQ. All right. So the NQ report says long bias. But it's not until there's a value area, which is above, or until there's an overnight low, which is still 100 points below. There's no good trade set up in the near term on NQ until we go below the overnight low for a long. See what the S&P's got. S&P. Who you got? Oh, it's all mediocre. Looking at my dreams. It's still showing. Yeah, it's not good. Can't load the ES one? Oh, that's a problem. Okay. Have to fix that too. Oh man, it's so man. I don't have fun, but that's alright with me. Let's go mess with what we're about. Okay. Hitting the New York Open here. On the S&P, it's usually a reactional area. Is this the current value or low for the week? Yeah, it is. NQ is putting in a good local bottom there. It's like a lot of it's not a lot of volume that I can see on the delta, but it's clustering right here at this area. Trying to reverse. I'm just not a fan of going long here. It's not an area that I see structurally a good long area from a level perspective. I think this is the prior day low. No, it's not. Where's the prior day low on the S&P? No, this is the low from the 18th, 2 days ago. Yeah. This is a prior day low from the 2 days ago. Now they faded again on NQ. Yes, positioning report is done. All right, the reports will now have the prior risk level with any future reports rolling over on a rollover basis. That's great. Got to commit it and then add it to the ES report as well. So this risk level that I traded off of right now this morning was based on a positioning report that I pull. So this report here, if you want to look at it, you can access it here on the link. Ah, shoot. Freaking closed it. Darn it. So this report, the level was not on here. It was on the prior day report from yesterday. I had pulled it, added it to my chart. Now I had it on this one here. Oh man, this is a mess. My goodness, and my taskbar is not working. So I had it on this report here. It was the 430, 29,430. 29,440 was the area where we rejected below. I had that annotated here. But that was a report from yesterday's close. And then from the overnight session, a new report came through and said the 686 was a new level for sellers to hold below. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure that the prior report level, and this one is carries over for one report. So today's report should show the 430 prior and then the current overnight report from 686. Because I have all the reports compiled into one channel on Discord, I have access to all of them. So I can always go back to any day and look at the risk level. But the online website doesn't show that. It only updates as a new report comes in. So it didn't have that level of reference from yesterday's close. I had to search for it to show you guys. So now all the levels, at least one session prior, will be pulled and referenced and shown there. Let me just make sure it's changed. Okay. Let me see now. Okay. Where is that risk level at, bro? Hmm. Oh, it has to update it. Another pop, and they keep fading them. Keep fading the pops. Not good. The chips keep staying green. The only thing is the other sectors are staying red. I guess on my end, it was a really good call to just cover the short there on the NQ at that area. That 900, 29,300 on NQ is a massive level. 29,300, right where the point of control is a massive for a failed breakdown of this overnight low. Ideally, that's what I'm looking for as well. We'll see if that ends up playing out. We still have quite a bit to go down on the S&P, about 20 points. NQ has about 150. The fact that I haven't traded the overnight lows yet is pretty good, given that it's already about to be the IB. Initial balance is about to be set, and we haven't traded the overnight lows yet, given the gap down day. That to me tells me there's some strength in the auction as we open today. Right, there's a gap down, but they're not able to trade lower than the overnight low. Typically on gap down days, the overnight low is traded rather quickly, most times before the initial balance is set. Now, I don't have statistics or data supporting that. I'm just saying that's my observation. So I can probably pull a report on that, but I would say more often than not, over 50% of the time, the overnight low trades on a gap down day before the initial balance is set. Everybody gather round. No, I've been down. What are you looking for, FH? You looking for an overnight low failed breakdown? Or link your... Dude, these terminals are so abusive. The link to link the... There's a breaking another low. And Q looks like it's trying to fail, but we'll see. Yeah. What time is it? Almost. The IB has like 12 minutes before it's There is no violent flush still. They're like dampening the move still. The NQ is still teetering right at that value low for the month. All the sectors are red now. So you got chips that were green. They're up about 1%. Weighted. And now they're all red. You should be able to trade the overnight low. Okay. There's Yankees still holding. And chips just went green again. Yeah, it's pretty good reversal there. Yeah, it holds. Yeah, the tape is flipping for sure. Bulls are hitting the tape there. You can see them now clearly. Trying to reverse the tape. I don't see aggressive delta yet, but it's definitely, you can see momentum shifting here. think if it fails, we test overnight low. It could. I don't know what to make of this. It's still like chopping around, but overall, like the DOM shifted momentum here within the last, I don't know, I would say at least 6 to 8 minutes. 713s. Yeah. I mean, ideally, if we hold anywhere above VWAP, to me, that's very bullish. That's about this level you're saying, 713, 712. Like, I'm open to being long, but I'm going to have to wait it out a little bit. Because if this does reverse, it's going to be a pretty decent one. That can probably run all the way to the overnight high. Where's the overnight high at? It's at 746. Yeah, 746. Pretty high up there. Yeah, me too. I want to be long, but I will have to wait for a few things to happen. I mean, first and foremost, reclaim that VWAP area for sure, and then go from there. We have the midnight VWAP that's being reclaimed now, but I need more. There's a lot of volume trading right here at 707. 707. A lot of volume traded. That's a high amount of delta there at 707. We'll see what that results in, but that could be bearish if it doesn't get rewarded. This could be like a failed reclaim kind of thing, where it's like pushes with momentum. The delta isn't super high, so but then it gets met with passive selling here near VWAP, and there's like a failed move up, and then collapses down to the overnight low. We'll see. The tape's moving like there's some sort of information, because they're trading a bunch of volume. It could be just the location. It's the VWAP area, the midnight VWAP. There's a ton of volume trading here within this 3-point spread on the S&P. I don't have a DOM for the NQ Open, so I don't know what that's doing. Let me look at the MBO. Yeah, there's a lot of passive sellers lining up right there too. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, pretty weak, man. Looks like it was a trap. Looks like I'm gonna just try a small short here, and we'll be above that absorption area. We'll target the what's the IB already formed? It's about to be formed. We'll target the near the lows, the overnight lows. It's a small risk play. It's not high risk at all. It's only 78 bucks. I'll still be green. I made 330 on the short this morning on the NQ, and then I'm only risking a quarter of those profits for this short momentum play. I don't know. I don't like I don't have high conviction on this trade. Just trading it based on what happened there. Failed reclaim up there probably happening right now. So what? Where is the so far the NQ, sorry, the S&P has not been able to even retest the prior day low, so the gap down is very much intact. The NQ is the one that's teetering between trying to hold the prior day low, go for the gap fill, or continue with the gap. So it's kind of like the one in the middle between both areas. So if the NQ can just show its hand, I think we'll see resolution on the S&P. My assumption is trade with the gap for now until we go low enough near the overnight low where I'm interested in going long. So the overnight low is my main area of interest for now, for a long. For both either or S&P or NQ. For me to go long without hitting the overnight low, I would ideally need to see price hold above VWAP, which is 711.50 right now. We'll see if it does that or not. NQ is doing pretty decent defense at the current month, value low at 330. But then it's also being rejected the prior day low. It's just chopping around. It'll resolve eventually. Give it some time. Give it some time. The IB is already set, so here it is. IB set. I'll just scale some at the IB if it comes down there. I'll have to. Right there at 91 if it comes down to it. But overall, I mean, they're just holding price here. It's just chopping around. This to me is more bullish, just the fact that it's holding and not trading the overnight low. I'm just gonna flatten this trade out. Fuck this trade, dude. Here, I'll take the $30 loss. It's hard for me to have a lean here, to be honest. Like, I'm not I was bearish only because the momentum was coming in and it looked like it was going to continue into the IBL overnight low, and then it faded out. And now what's happening is they're just chopping around the point of control and seeing if they can reclaim that midnight VWAP area. I don't want to hold it, you know. I don't need to hold it. The market's telling me enough information for now that that momentum downside that I was trying to track or follow, it faded out. So we'll just play it out, wait, chill, relax. Market's gonna show its hand eventually. Sellers run the risk of getting squeezed. I agree. Yeah, that's partly the reason why I also want to get out, is because the longer we sit there and we don't reward sellers with an overnight low or an IBL break, the more risk to being squeezed out. See, the funny thing is about being a short seller that I don't think exists if you're a buyer. There's a skew where you're more prone to getting squeezed out any single session or day the longer you remain short. The longer you hold a short, the more prone you are to getting squeezed. That's a firm belief of mine. I don't have data to support it, but if you look at any chart on any given day, it's more common for the price to have sold off, bounced, came back to where it sold off from, than to see a price hold below, to price to break down and continue to break down. Most times there's a reversal at some point on any sell. I've been losing. So look, I closed it too early. They're coming back down again. Ugh. That's fine. I know. I got a time in the world, but now I'm just chilling. Ugh. The weekly value low moved lower to the 696 area. It was at 710 this morning. Are you really there? Want to make a report on how often the session VAL and VA holds after IBC. You get bounces right after IBS. Meaning like it rotates within the value areas? Ugh. Boom, boom, boom. She do whatever she like. That just don't seem right. There's another push with Delta there again. They're squeezing out. This is likely some shorts getting squeezed out. It's very small, but you can see how quickly price pushes a few points or ticks. And those are likely some sellers that were shorting probably near the New York Open getting squeezed out. I mean, again, I don't mind going long. I just need to see a few things happen for me to go long. Yeah, like just before we tap IB, I've seen it where they bounced the veil before it. Oh yeah, like so you want to see like how often price rotates within the current value or high and low before the initial balance is set. So you can trade the range essentially before the IB is set. Or target one edge to the other within the first hour of trade. See, they got close to view up and then they're fading out again. No. No. Yeah, I hit the nail there. The IB set step. Big P, IB, yeah. That's good. I mean, I like that. Not bad. I mean, today that kind of played out a couple times already today, right? You got like you know, you could even overlay that with the New York Open because sometimes the New York Open ends up being the value low or value high as well. If you want to add that as a layer of confluence, because sometimes what happens is the value low has not developed yet, or the value high has not developed yet fully if it's too early into the session, but the New York Open ends up being that value area later as price kind of continues to develop. I have noticed that the New York Open has a tendency to have a reaction or move out of it, whether a bounce or a fade, whatever it is, depending on how we open. It ends up being support or ends up being resistance in some instances, which sometimes lines up with that value area. See, there's another fade here, no hold. Another failed breakout. See how this holds. We're gonna be alright, alright. Today's prime example, yeah. I mean, I think we can go back most days and kind of reference that. Here's another one. If you look at yesterday, the New York Open is 7743. The value or high was 7746. Right? You got rejected at the open, then again later, and then finally broke out later in the day. And let's see, let's go back another one. Where's the New York Open here? This is the middle of the where VWAP is. So like, do you go back just even one session back? You have that example as it being a value or high. I think maybe when you run the data initially, you can maybe see how frequently the New York Open aligns with a value or high or low, and then that'll be your barometer whether it's useful or not to use in the report. If there's an overlap like more than 68% of the time, then I would use it as a reference. But if it's less than 50, I wouldn't even touch it. Just leave it out of the equation. But it's a good report. Sounds like a useful way to use it. The value areas before IB. See where the risk level is on the S&P. 7744. Squeeze risk. Commit near 744s. That's pretty high up. Nobody know me. Oh well. They're testing VWAP. See what happens here. Don't wanna grow old, so I smoke just in case. They're breaking out here. Looks pretty decent. That's really all it takes. Don't need nothing but today. Good reaction closing that short. Yeah, thanks. Just the tape wasn't really rewarding that momentum behavior, you know? And the same thing with the NQ short. Like I didn't, and I said this pretty clear, like I didn't want to be short into a higher time frame area like that. You know, if I had a better cost basis, I wouldn't mind. So I would have more slack, but you see that NQ's back to my original cost basis from the original short. And then S&P, same thing. Kind of momentum lacked in favor of short selling. See if it fails here at the VWAP. NQ's still below that risk level. I like this one a little more. Against that same risk level. I'm going to keep it tight just to kind of keep my cost basis the same and then same area to target like this. Keep it where my original entry was around there. I don't know if this is a failed pop into VWAP that fades out. Not much volume traded into VWAP, so we could fail here. So that volume that traded into that VWAP was not very high, so I assume that there's not much initiative to push past VWAP currently. If that changes, we'll see it on the tape. Right now, the way we pressed into that VWAP was very light. Yeah, team about to figure it out. Let's go. That's what we're about. Cause I never been this high before. I think it's just paused. What happened to the volume? The momentum just dried the fuck up. There's not much going on anymore. See if it fades out, but it looks like we just did a retest to fade so far. The volume tapered off as we traded the VWAP on the S&P. I have the delta not even increasing, actually started to decrease a little bit after it. They're holding the prior day low on the NQ. Not what I want to see on a little bit of a rejection print. I would like to have seen the NQ fail that prior day low already. It still has, just teetering right at it. Alright, I'm just gonna get down to one lot on the NQ. I don't want to hold the full size. Only because they're just they're not moving. They're not moving price here. And it seems like it's just another counter rotation to go higher again so far. I'm just gonna close it out. They held it so far. Not even gonna hold this. So far it's defended. This might be a decent long if we can break above. If this holds here, I like this. If this holds the VWAP, I mean, it's not the greatest invalidation area, not the greatest tape at all. We're just chopping. Volume's outright gone again. My assumption is the inability to break into this lower section of price is they want to continuously keep probing into VWAP until they break out. So I'm a buyer here, small sized. I just don't like the lack of initiative, but I'll bid a little bit. And the stop will be below the New York. Oh, as soon as I fucking bid it. We'll see if it holds, but as soon as I bid it, momentum comes in lower. I'll continue to hold this. Again, I don't want to see it below the New York Open. At that point, I assume we break down. But I want to see this transition or slowly inch, you know, hold this midnight VWAP, then trade above the full session VWAP, and then I'll add more, and then we'll target that PDL area. But for now, it looks like I might have just bought the top of that little reversal or little range. As price develops, I want to see a kind of reverse, hold, and then hold above VWAP, and I'll add more. Progressively adding more as levels are captured. So we'll add more on some strength past the and overall, again, the reason I'm even trying the long is because the sellers are not been rewarded for their efforts. We couldn't even trade below the New York Open. I'll bid a little bit more here. And then, yeah, PDL will be able to scale some and then scale more above that. My God, I go on and on. I go back. Well, okay, so we got that little trade. We added a couple lots into it. We target the PDL slash the IB high, and then go from there. If they do a full reclaim of the 27s, forget about it. Forget about it. NQ is a good long too. If it holds here, the easiest setup is for it to just trade into the PDC at 560s on the NQ. Like that's the cleanest trade because it would be a gap fill of the gap down. There's a squeeze. Oh, we're gonna get paid. I can tell already. Look at that, son. All right, we scaled 2 lots there. We have 2 more left. And they're pushing. They're pushing. They're pushing. That was correct. Yeah, good call. Yeah. Again, this had more to do with just like the overall positioning as price had gapped up. And this had just to do with, again, I mentioned this earlier, they just weren't rewarding the short effort, right? The effort's short. There was no reward for them. We couldn't even trade below the New York Open. So the only problem I made was really just not getting long sooner, which is fine. You know, it is what it is. I wasn't comfortable going long anyway at the time. With the information that I had when we were trading below, down this area, below 7,700s, the information I had at the time didn't give me conviction to go long. It wasn't until we started trading above this midnight VWAP area that I was like, okay, this makes sense. See if this holds or not. NQ hit that risk level. This level is massive. It continues to be a rejection zone. That risk level at 440s, which coincidentally is now lining up with the VWAP, which is perfect. Let's see if we can get a move into the prior day value low at 27s. Where's the prior day close at? PDC, I don't have it. Oh, PDC is 7:30. Okay. Put it here and then 7:30 at the PDC gap fill on the S&P. Yeah. Oh, that drawing's really ugly. Let me remove that. Sellers are hitting the wire, hitting the tape here for sure. You can see them possibly showing up right at the PDL. That's a big inflection point for them, because if they hold above that, if bulls can reclaim the PDL, then they can squeeze back to the 30s. So it's expected that they would try to, you know, push here. We'll see if it fails. If the buyers fail to hold this. Back to VWAP. NQ is failing again. Same area at the risk level. They hit it, rejected, back lower. We'll see what happens. Back to my entry. It gets below that, what, 704s? I'll probably have to plan this out. Somehow gotta find a way. Man. Oh, the nasty pop and drop, man. Ugh. All right, let's see if they hold. If they go down again below 704s, I'll find this out. But I would not be. I wish I could be in a position where I feel comfortable buying and adding more to this trade, but I do not. I just don't. I don't see it in the tape where buyers have progressively shown their hand to be buyers of support or prior breakouts. They're kind of in the defense lately. They're not in a position to be reversing price after pullbacks. The way the bulls have been operating the last few sessions has been from higher time frame support bounces. We're not in a breakout continuation environment, so I'm not going to be adding to this trade. Here's 704. I'll have to find this out. They're capitulating here. Momentum's even accelerating further. I'll lower the. I'll raise the stop to 701 here, and then get trailed out. Shujo shot. Dying, dying, dying. NQ is right at the New York Open too. I think this is what we needed to maybe expand price to the overnight low. We'll see. Buyers are showing up here. The positive delta print, but they're absorbing. So 704s, if it can reclaim, I'm open to buying more. You can see the buy side stepping in there. Only because my stop loss is very tight. And they got to push with effort above that 704 area. Otherwise, I'll just get trailed down, call it. Boom. Boom, trailed out. All right, well, there's that, dude. This is not a good market for continuations. You just take your profit and scale, and then maybe leave a very small position, if any, runner at all. Crappy session, very much. You know, very much. Very much. Five. NQ looks like it could do a full breakdown here. But we'll see. We will see. Let's see if they hold it, this valley area again. The 704 is where that cluster of delta formed right now. It's right where the point of control is. It's kind of where there's a few levels of confluence there. It's a midnight VWAP. It's the point of control. So it's kind of expected that there would be a lot of volume traded there. We'll see. See if the NQ holds as well. They're trading right into 704 again. It's like a binary outcome from here, I would say. Okay, pretty good momentum here. Nice Momo. Nah, I'm not gonna try this, dude, honestly. I'm good. I would like to long here with that momentum push, but I just can't. I don't trust these guys. I think the best thing for me to do is just wait. I'm not gonna chase this or trade in favor of this momentum. It's just too messy, man. It's ugly. If there's a trade here, I think let me just make sure. Hold on. I think NQ breakdown is probably the easiest one. Yeah. I think if the NQ breaks down, it's the easiest trade setup than any other trade there is. Yeah. It's teetering at an important area. Yeah. I think the NQ is the easiest short, to be honest. If it sets up, I'll try it, but it's if it sets up. This could be a reversal area. It's a pivot zone, essentially, the way I'm seeing it. But because we've had so many support bounces here on the NQ at this area, if it breaks down sometime into Euro close or after, I would assume that's the setup where it's gonna expand lower at that point. We'll see. Look at all these windows. My goodness. Ugh. Yeah, the Max 7 have gone more red than they were earlier. Me. Oh, where'd I go? Yeah, I think NQ certainly has the cleanest downside move. To the O and L. If it breaks, it's just hard. The support bounces keep coming in. Ugh. Ugh. Hmm. Ugh. There's a seller right there. I 708 lined up and ready to go. Ugh. I don't think that means anything. Just, you know, they've been having sitting offers, and then there's an aggressive sells that came in near the prior day low, right where I scaled out above the IB. I like the NQ, man. This could be a good short. It's just kind of slow, a slow burn, but it certainly looks like it can roll over, dude. I just don't like the risk. Like, my stop has to go up here. I'm not a fan of that. We'll see how the structure develops. On the S&P, I think it's easier to get the short set up just because I feel comfortable holding it above VWAP, the stop loss. While the NQ, the VWAP's all the way at 440s, which is about 90 points from where price currently is sitting. I'm not a fan of that. Hey, what's up, Amid? Amid? Adan? What's going on, brother? I don't know why I said it so intense. Where's the prior month value low? If I don't have it, it's all the way down there. Oh shoot. I don't know if we hit that. But here's the NQ, it's breaking down. Not a fan. Not a fan. Never gamble on the weather. Chips are about to go red too. All sectors about to bleed red. Maybe this is what we needed for the full breakdown. The chips were holding us up. The chippies. Tough session. Yeah, it's trappy. I mean, you know, would you quit a job that you hate to trade full time? No. No, man, just find something to do that you don't mind doing full time. It doesn't have to be your shitty job you have now. Find something else. What I'll tell you is this, and this is not advice. This is just my personal take on what I do. Always have more than one source of income. That's it. Always have more than one source of income. That's it. So that way you're not spread between, oh, I want to be a full-time trader, or I want to be a full-time this. Just have a few sources of income. That way you're not spread between this or that, or this job sucks. You know, if you want to leave the job, leave it. You have another source that can cushion you out or buffer, you know, give you a buffer while you transition to something else, you know. If you set yourself up where you just have 3 sources of income minimum, and with the internet and so much shit now, like in other avenues, it's so easy to do. You should be fine to leave your job and then find something in transition to find another career or something else to do. But trading full time, I mean, God bless you if that's what you want to do. It's a performance sport. You don't perform, how stressed out are you going to be? Everyone's different. Do you perform well under stress? of not making money or whatever? Or are you going to make bad decisions based on not performing well? That question, if you answer it truthfully, if you are honest with yourself and you're saying, well, I do fine when I'm under pressure. It doesn't really crumble me, or I don't make bad decisions in my trading when I'm under pressure or whatever, or underperforming, then fine. You know, that answers your question. If you're being honest with yourself, I cannot do that. So I would never do that personally, you know? So I could never give someone that advice. But if you answer that question truthfully and honestly, and you can say yes, then, you know, balls deep. 5 years worth of money. Yeah, I would say at least, yeah, I think certainly something that can hold you down for a few years, you know? Something that can hold you down for a few years. And that's why I always say more sources of income, right? You know, because you can lean on that while you figure this out or whatever it is. If you already have it figured out, great. You know, but either way, even if you are a trader, like full time, you're gonna, no matter where you are in your life, I think that the level you want to be at is just have multiple sources of income, regardless if you're a full-time trader or not. Like, it doesn't matter where you are in life, you always want to have more than one source of income, full-time trader or not. Tape's picking up here. So no matter which route you take with what I say, I think that the baseline of my advice, more sources of income, I think personally that rings true no matter what route you decide to go through. So that way you have optionality. You have diversity, you know, in your life and what you're doing. And we're all good at something, you know? It's not that you can't make more sources of income. We're all good at something. We're all passionate about something. Find your little niche, you know? Figure it out. You'll find another way to make money online or whatever avenue that may be. You know? It could be the weirdest of things. Maybe you're good at knitting. I don't know. Sell your knitting things on Etsy or whatever. I don't know. Again, I bought fucking rugs from Turkish people who live in Turkey and they build rugs for a living, you know? Like, I'm sure they make a pretty decent source of income from that. When I buy their rugs from Turkey and they are selling it out of there. Maybe they build rugs and they work part-time somewhere else. I don't know. I don't know what they do, but I can tell you that I buy stuff from foreign countries all the time. And they make us an additional source of income somehow. Being where they're from. I hope that advice at least instills a seed in your mind to help you out in your whatever you decide to do. Whether that question was maybe for you or not, but I hope that advice kind of at least instills a seed and becomes fertile at some point. No matter who's listening, honestly, I think it's like one of the greatest pieces of advice someone ever gave me. It was like, never have one source of income. I'm trading right up point of control. NQ, I think this is the breakdown setup here. I think this might be the area where it's finally showing weakness to crack. We'll see. Only gets better. They supported the New York Open again on the S&P. On the SP. S&P. Got a OPEC wire news. Shafak news. Iraq pushes new oil routes beyond Hormuz. Okay. Okay, Iraq. Is that good? I can't tell. You have a news wire right here. As far as the metrics, I'm not going to say that's proprietary, but what I can tell you is that the bias is only relative to the plans that it's giving. So if it's saying O and L failed breakdown, the bias is saying long at that area, but not at every other zone, if you understand what I'm saying. Let me know if I need to clarify. Similar to how yesterday it said short bias, but the zone for a short bias trade wasn't until the O and H failed breakout. I work 12 hours, get $200 standing all day. I hate it. Just want to get out and be free. If I get $100 from trading, good. See, that's the wrong mindset, though. If you get $100 a day from trading, that's just not a realistic way to approach trading. I mean, it might work for some people, you know, God bless, but your goal is to just trade the action, trade the structure, the setup you're seeing. Because if you shift your mind to like, oh, I'm just trying to make $100, you're gonna find a $100 trade every fucking tick. Every movement is gonna look like $100. Oh, I could have gotten my $100 day right there. Oh, I could have gotten my $100 day right there. Oh, that's the $100 day. Oh, fuck, I got stopped out. Fuck, I didn't make my $100 today. Fuck, let me make it back. Oh shit, let me press another trade. Oh, I'm break even now. All right, here's another trade. Oh fuck. Fuck, I'm red now. Oh fuck, double down to get back to break even. I'll end the day. I'll be good right there. Oh fuck, I balloon. I'm good. I'm down. Whatever. You can see how that psychological mindset is detrimental to trading. Whenever someone comes and says, all I'm trying to do is just make $100 or $200. I mean, I personally, the way I trade, and this is relative to me, coming in with that mindset, for me, I'm fucked. I don't know how you are. I can't speak on that. I can say on how I am. If I come in with that mindset, I'm fucked. It'll work for 2-3 days, and then 4th-5th day, screwed. So I understand the frustration of 12 hours and maybe the job you don't like. Just find something else to make $100 a day and online in the meantime. There's so many ways to make $100 online. You know? There's so many ways. And it's in much easier ways than trading. And it's not to say you can't do it with trading. You can, but like if we're looking at the path with the least amount of friction to have a consistent, steady stream of income of, I don't know, let's say you work 5 days, $100, 20 days, $2,000 a month in gross income a month. There's easier paths. So if we're talking about like small amounts of money, like $100 a day, there's other paths that are easier that will take the same amount of time to figure out. Not to say don't trade, but I'm just saying, like, if we're looking at something from that figure to make that much, there's multitude of ways to do it. Trading's one for sure, but there's other avenues as well. Yeah. I'm surprised we haven't fully broke down yet. This has been a slow burn on the breakdown so far. No worries, I didn't get that lean. But yeah, just to clarify that the bias is relative to the plans that are produced based on the opening structure and overnight levels. So if it says long biased, it's going to produce Y long bias, which are the plans that are below the structural bias. In this case, the O and L failed breakdown. Similar to yesterday, we had a gap up, but bias was short, and it provided where to be short. So it's giving you a location bias based on the structure to be short at, not at any price or throughout the whole session. What a slow burn this is on the move down. Let's see, the delta is pretty... Yeah, I can't even say anything on it. The delta on the NQ is pretty much flat, and then as the S&P selling off, it is increasing in sell side delta, but not really producing new lows. My assumption is they trap again. I don't know. The momentum is just not enough. This might be another failed breakdown again. We'll see. Like the area to be long is going to be the overnight low, but it's just not. It's not testing quite yet. Might not test it till later today. We're gonna be alright, alright. Oh shit! I didn't want to open that. What the fuck? Bassett says U.S. likely won't restart large-scale Iran combat as it steps up economic pressure. What? Bassett says U.S. likely won't restart large-scale Iran combat as it steps up economic pressure. Interesting. So they're walking back any more retaliation on Iran. At least what's what Bassett's saying. I don't know if he's just talking so the bonds go lower, or he's for real. Because that guy just likes to play with the bond market. He doesn't really care about the geopolitical issues. Seems like he's more concerned about the bond market. You guys see what he did about the yen the yen trade? Did you guys see that? I don't know if that was manipulation or intentional, but if you guys haven't seen it, it's hilarious. You don't think you've seen it? Let me see. So there was a Reuters there was a Reuters reporter. This was in July 31st, so a couple weeks ago. On his desk there was a notepad. There was a notepad on his desk on a to-do list. He had a to-do list, and it said a notepad displayed underscore to do followed by buy Japanese yen 5 to 10 billion on his desk. Like, why the fuck would you write that? Why would that be a part of your to-do list? Here it is. To do buy Japanese yen 5 to 10 billion. While he had an interview with a Reuters reporter, like he wasn't gonna see that and snap a pic and post it. The idea is that he did that. Now we don't know for sure, but to push the yen up, to prop it up. He had, like, come on, yes. Who does a to-do list and puts in buy 5 to 10 billion today to do for the next day or whatever? Like, that is such a random note. I don't know. The speculation is that it was fake, and he knew that the reporter would see it once they did the interview in his office and snap a pic of it and post it. All right, it's like 4D chesting. That was hilarious. And the yen actually exploded on that, and then, you know, and then came back down. Probably did it on purpose. That's the assumption, right? I don't know. Because there was nothing else on the to-do list. It was just the yen. Just to buy the yen. There wasn't anything else there. Does he only have one task a day? One to-do list a day? Like, how does that work? Let's see. All right, let's see if the NQ can reclaim or continue to break down. I like a reclaim here if it does it. We haven't broken the IBL yet. Can't stand that guy. Best it. Looks like we're coming back down to I'm hopeful we can come back to the overnight low. It's with a long setup that. The chips bleeded out. They went from being up 1% to now down almost 0.5%. Pretty big range intraday there. Again, the NQ trade, the breakdown one was the cleanest one, but man, like, this is just not resolving very easily to the downside. It's very slow. It's the reason I was open to taking the short, but I don't know, man. Not a fan how slow this is resolving. There it is. We broke the eye below. Says Fed Musalim says hiking rates could now save more aggressive action later. Hiking rates now could save more aggressive action later. Interesting. All right. If they do the overnight low failed breakdown here. It's almost there on NQ. We've been waiting for this. The thing that's cool about the overnight low failed breakdown on the S&P is that the put wall is right there too. Right? They're both in the same area. The heck, I didn't even open this. Jim just start believing in God. Yeah, I know what's behind the door. Things are still red, bro. Still red. Let's see if the NQ is gonna reclaim and do a reversal or continue this lower to test the overnight low. I want to see what it does here at that current month value low at 330s. Essentially right here. What does it do here as a retest? Could come afternoon. Yeah, the overnight low. We'll see. Might not happen until the second half of the day. Most of them, yeah, they have coming into like New York lunch / end of day. That's typically when they kind of make the move. I don't know. S&P right now, the way it looks structurally, it looks like it wants to continue lower. The only one that looks prone to maybe reversing a tad is NQ if it does do a failed breakdown here. S&P, see if it can reclaim. The New York Open, it's been kind of a bounce area the past few touches. Ah, that's not what I was trying to do. Oh. So like right here, here. If it reclaim that New York Open, it's pretty decent. If also the NQ happens to reclaim as well. But other than that, just let it fade out until it shows you some true intent to bid. Most of the moves, yeah, have been afternoon. I agree. There's a lot of bids actually below price right now. How weird. There's a lot of bids down here near the 90s. Huh. Let's see. Where's my Dom at? Interesting. The MBO data shows them below 90, but I don't see them here on the Dom. They're small lots, but the MBO profile that I have shows more lots than this. I'm not sure which one's real. They're stacking bids there. Oh, they went away. They're gone now. See what the NQ does here. Okay, it's reclaiming. NQ, is it reclaim? Look at potential iceberg. Yeah, it could be. Because it's a lot of lots there. So we'll see. NQ is also holding here. I'll put a bid here. I like what I see so far. We'll see. I'll keep it tight though. I'm not really. Keep it tight. Keep it right. Keep it tight. Keep it right. Ah, no. This. I don't know. We'll see. It's got to reach 20s and 25 stack within 5 points of each other. No way. Oh, there's a seller moving down right there at 97s. There's a big bid that just came, well, a big offer just came in right here at this 97 area. So someone's trying to keep price imbalance down, or they're buying. I don't know. I can't tell. But what I do know is there's a big trade that came in right here in this area. The chips are coming back a little bit. They're still red though. So NQ came in. Okay. Control Shift R, right? Dude, these fucking terminals are annoying. Fuck off, bro. See if they can reclaim here. What's the NQ doing? Let's see what you got, buddy. It's trying to push back. Chips are still red. Everything's still red. Slow tape. We'll see if it reclaims. If it does, this is a big zone on the NQ, so I like it long here, but I might just exercise that through the S&P here. Yeah, there's more offers sitting above price again. Overall, there's a lot of volume here traded within this little area, the 700, 698 area. A lot of volume traded on the MBO. I see like 500 this morning, 500 a little bit after the IB, another 374 earlier before we rejected VWAP, another 446 right now, not too long ago. It's a cluster of a ton of volume in this general area, in both ways. So it's a pretty good pivot zone, I would say. But there's no intent to bid aggressively so far. It's just chopping, probably continuing the trend down. Along only 2 lots. I'm open to adding more, but it's got to reclaim that New York Open, 98. NQ is back above, currently right at the current month value low, which is a level I've referenced all morning. Big area. NQ looks pretty solid, I might say. Ooh, load. But just no momentum, dude. Tape's dead, slow, non-existent. Not something I like trading in and out of, which is why I'm size so small. All right, we'll bid a little bit more as the NQ holds. Momentum's trying to pick up. NQ's reversing, holding that current month value low. We'll see if it holds or not. Yeah, it looks like a rejection. Oh, man. Trappy tape, bro. If today's been classified as one word, it's just fucking trappy as hell. Trappy as hell. NQ hit, now back below, not really showing. And it showed initiative initially going into the top of the hour, and then it just kind of rejected again. Hard to know exactly what they want to do here, to be honest. Trappy, yeah, it's super trappy both ways. Like, they try to expand price, right? Like, they expanded price, reversed it, and then chopped around, traded below it. So far, just consolidating back below this area. So both sides essentially have been trapped. both ways, depending on where you traded today. If you had a bad location, you know, you traded the extremes, you got fucked trying to go long or short here. And then here even so too, as it traded above and below. There's like very few areas where you can get away with being long or short. Anyway, see, NQ holds here. This is a big zone for NQ. It's a big boy zone. It's got to hold this area. The S&P is trading more in alignment with the Dow. The Dow is about to break the overnight low right now. Like a few points away. NQ is trading up and S&P is trading lower. So I think it's following the Dow more so than anything. All right. Yeah, I think I'll just hold this trade, let it hold and see what happens. It looks like on the 15-minute time frame, it looks like a failed breakdown right now. Right here. It looks like a failed breakdown of this low. So let me zoom in a little bit so it looks cleaner. So let's see. So that's a failed breakdown there, and I didn't think I got done drawing it out. So we have this little low right here, right there, and then they probed it. Not much volume came in. We're reclaiming. So the idea is we come back somewhere around here, 710, 709, which is where I have my first scale on the S&P. If it holds or not. But 709, I have 2 lots. I'll probably end up putting most of it there. And then hold a couple for, I only have 4 lots, I guess, so. Anyway, that's the trade for now. NQ has to hold this area. So yeah, it looks like it's gonna fail right after I said all that. That's fine. That's the only trade I can think of right now. And then the other one is a failed breakdown of the overnight low, which is about 10, 16 points lower. But anyway, I'll hold this trade. Let's see it through. NQ just tested the current month value low and then held again on that little tap. It's just telling me that this, I think this is telling me that it wants to put in a failed breakdown of this structure right here. Here's the range, right? And then here's your failed breakdown setup. This whole area is a trap of sellers, and it's probably going to come back here again to the VWAP. But I don't know. It has to hold that neckline, right? This little neckline is important to hold, this area. And it continues to do continues to both. It like bounces off of it and then it rejects off of it. Bounces off of it. It's just limp. And I don't know. Trappy action. That's all I can say. let it do its thing, and then I gotta figure out what to do with these fucking terminal windows. They're annoying as shit. They keep popping up on my screen. So big area here on NQ. If it holds or breaks, will kind of dictate the next move. Obviously, I'm long biased based on what it's doing here right now, and the assumption is it would hold that New York Open. It currently has not. Small risk. I mean, even if I get stopped out, I'll still be green on the day, which I don't mind. It's perfectly fine. I'm up like 592 on the day, and I'm risking 150, so I'll still be green, and I'll probably be one more trade in the tank. I may not take it on the stream because I'm just going to bounce. This is honestly exhausting to watch. You can see the DOM is non-existently moving. There's no volume in the fucking DOM. It's just slowly churning price. So I'm just going to let it resolve itself, do its thing, step away, set some price alerts, and yeah. Again, if it trades overnight low, I have an alert there to trade. If it starts to bounce and hit 704s, I'll come back to it just to watch. Right now, again, it's just a failed breakdown of the 50-minute frame, potentially forming here on the S&P. We'll see if it's true or not. I think it's contingent upon the NQ holding or not, right there. Have a good one. Yeah, I'll see you, man. CFH, see everyone else. Have a good rest of your day.